Go. All right. So taking a look at this again, just to reiterate what's going on here, what we have going on. We have our list here that's acting like our database. It's it's a non-persistent memory-based database. So it's memory-based. So every time the application resets, it clears. So that's the one thing we have going on that's kind of downside, but it at least helps us to understand what's happening at the moment. All right. We have our controller that allows us to initialize our system and pre-fills it with a single employee. So that's a really useful thing we got going here. And if you really wanted to, just to make it a little better now, let's go ahead and add a
semicolon finder.
Oh yeah, that's James's Jim's title.
That's
That is
great.
Jim's
man.
definite job there.
You can definitely get a job with that on your resume.
Do ID, we're gonna go ahead and do it again. ID equals ID counter dot increments and get.
Take away the semi. Colon finder.
Oh geez. No, you're gonna have fun now. Welcome back, Keith.
Oh no.
Why do I feel like that's wrong?
That's my role.
Colon finder. I gotta be careful with this. This is on camera.
You know, considering what I pay my GI doctor, I think that might pay just as well as a coder.
Wait, why is the thing? Oh yeah, because I have a variation of it. So I'll do that, and I'm gonna do. We'll go ahead and make E26.
That'd be nice.
There you
Where's
go.
my year now?
So let's see. Someone else give Keith a roll.
Oh shit, where's my year now?
Don't anybody jump at it.
Roll. Freddie, give me a roll.
Comedian. Thanks, Cullen.
There you go. It's not
There
bad.
Perfect.
Dictated by the
Or
real
Rick
film.
roll.
Rick roll.
He's the actual comedian. I'm the shitty one.
There you go. You're fine. Why is it upset with me?
Do you need another
Oh,
closed
yeah,
parenthesis at the end?
yeah.
I do, because the put and then we need a new employee. Yep, I was missing one. Because now I have two people in our database right from the get-go, right when we start the project, we'll have two people in our system right away. So that'll be useful. We have our simple get mapping, that's the root directory, but keep in mind that that starts though @/employee because we have this request mapping. So every single map in this controller begins with /employees, and then this is a single slash, and then /ID. So employees /1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. So that's how these work. And if there's no mapping at all, it is the root route, which is the just / is what you see, but browsers don't show that. Always be aware of that. The root route is called a /. Most browsers don't show that final / at the end, but that's what it looks like. Cool. Let's go ahead and make sure this still works. So I'm gonna go ahead and run it. It's still valid over the weekend. Gotta get our daemon running. Yes, I know it's daemon, but I always see him. I always say
Demon or
demon.
demon?
Yeah, I like
It's
daemon.
daemon.
I know it's daemon, but it's demon.
Is it Damon?
I believe a lot of people say daemon just because they don't want to put demons with developers.
Oh, no, I mean, I say it's Damon because it's D-A-E.
I've never known actually why that is.
But I do believe demon. There is a spelling of demon in that way, and some in another language, probably even Latin potentially. I know that demon has the spelling with DAEMON.
I could have swore I heard it referred to as a demon before.
Oh, I know it definitely has. I've referred to it as demon. I know that. I love calling it demon because I know like English demon is DEMON. Yes, but I am very confident that one of the other languages in the world spells demon as DAEMON. So I would not be surprised with that. Git is installed. Go away.
It's not installed.
I know it is. What are you talking about? I used it all weekend.
Said it's not.
Lies. All right, go ahead and go back to Postman. So you can use that.
It's kicking my butt again.
Just gonna do localhost 80/employees. That's that route mapping we need. And we'll see, there's our two employees, our semicolon finder and our comedian. Great employees.
Be awesome.
Oh yeah, they do great stuff. I never have to worry about errors in my code and someone that keeps making me laugh. It's great.
Yeah.
Perfect team. We got that going on. With our post route, we can go ahead and create additional employees. So let's go ahead and test that out. We're just going to switch the get to post and be able to put something in the body now by raw and JSON. Who's joining my team?
Elaine.
We gotta get people to stop vouching for each other all the time. Can't you vouch for somebody else, Jen? Why you gotta always pick on Elaine?
Oh, because I like Elaine.
Where is she? Is she here? There she is. Okay, she's smiling. She's okay with it. I got an idea for one, actually. You know what? Here we go.
Does the name need to have quotation? Oh,
I
same
do.
thing.
Yeah, that's why I was literally just staring at that, like, why is it upset? To get that's exactly it. Roll.
Teacher extraordinaire.
Nope.
Yeah,
All right, He's good with that one. Yep. Where is he? You're muted. Okay. He's right behind you. See, it works perfectly. And you know what? We're gonna be really nice there. We're gonna put Elaine. We're gonna put you at 24. You're younger than Jim.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Picking on all the old people, man.
I got,
I'm not doing it intentionally. You guys keep calling it out.
Definitely intentional when it's 3 people in a row that are the oldest in the class.
Well, Jim was the last one who talked during Thursday's meeting. You were the one talkative one this time, and then Jim vouched for Elaine. I'm not talking to anybody.
something that was
There
killing
you
me
go.
here in Postman.
What's
One of
that?
those things in the post, like name, role, age. I was putting one of those with the
These are
capital.
keys. So these are the
Yeah.
keys. These are the values.
I was putting one of the key. Yeah, I should be using the terms of art. One of the keys I was putting with a capital initial letter, and
Ah.
it was returning a null, and I didn't know why. I was like, null, null. I'm like, why
Yep,
the
not
hell?
matching up. Case sensitivity with computer science. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
That matches up with the fields.
Yep. So we hit get, we hit send. We see we now have our 3 employees. Powerful team here. Got that going on. And then last but not least, let's go ahead and do a get/2 to see we pull Keith specifically out of it. If I do 3, we'll get Elaine.
Nice.
If I do 1, I will get Jim. If I do another number that doesn't exist yet, I will get an empty result. But notice how you still get the 200 okay. And so this is something we're going to be talking about probably either tomorrow or Thursday. How do we send back other status codes? So do be aware that that's something we are going to add in later. I do want to do that afterwards. I'm more tempted to do that more once we bring the JPA system, because I'm also going to show you a little bit more annotations to these routes. So a couple more annotations we can add to make it more fleshed out, more accurate of what we want to do in the final results. So there's more annotations that will be popping in as we go. However, let's go ahead and do our next 2. So I'm going to move these down so that we know what we're working on next. So I'm going to grab, not that, do that, and then do this. All the way down. Down to here, and just to keep things a little neater.
Oh my
You don't have to
gosh.
do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to highlight my get mapping ID. I'm going to move that up to the other get mapping so that my 2 reads are next to each other. My create is by itself under create, and now we're going to go ahead and create our update. Add a note saying that updates sometimes use put modern systems and use. To be aware of that. One of the things I want to showcase is this.
¿Qué?
I'm not gonna find what I wanted.
Yo creo que sí vamos a tener que poner las cosas que más.
I'm gonna mute you, David. What I wanted. That's something else. Dang it. There we go. This is where we're gonna be at. This will most likely show us what we want. Still doesn't, of course. It doesn't. I want to show what that content, what a put request looks like, what they tend to want. Yep, that's not showing me yet. Body format. I'm going to search it up again later because they're not showing me the format because they're now showcasing what a lot of people are doing nowadays, where the put is now mimicking the post. So normally what you would have is you would have a key, which is the element that they're trying to update, and then how they update it, and it's step by step. How many different things you want to change. You can change one thing at a time, but it's an array of modifications, which is a older way of doing it. They are updating it now, and you're seeing now that they're putting in the more common ones. You know, we'll go ahead and use the put. It's fine. Just so you can see that other mapping. Again, the only difference you're going to see here, yeah, wait, somebody in chat, what's going on? Oh, okay. Got it. We're going to use put, just so you guys can see the put mapping, even though it's not going to make a big difference in how we're going to be using it. We're going to be using it almost identical to the post mapping. And how we're going to do this, we're going to do the /ID. So note how we're doing a similar mapping to the get mapping of a single item, but now we're actually doing, I've got to do that in double quotes. Now we're doing the put. So again, we can reuse a lot of the same routes in multiple items as long as the verb is different. So you kind of get that polymorphism mentality. We're kind of used to that concept. As long as the verb's different, we can use the exact same route. Now, normally a lot of these update ones would be a secured route.
So because it's the same route, do you need to put the /ID there for the put mapping?
Yes, because I do need it to understand that I want it to be like this. I want to be able to get the ID of the person we're updating in the URL. I could accept it in the body, but most commonly you see it this way. Because this way you can say that this way you can just kind of update the ID and that the body is all the new information. That makes sense?
But I thought if it's underneath get mapping and it's a different verb, then it's already /ID.
No, it won't be. So this one is under the normal route. It's under the root route because there's nothing after it.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. Nope. Each mapping is unique in itself. It doesn't carry. The only one that is universal is this one right here. This one affects all routes.
All right.
Yeah. These only affect the route it's after. Good question. Actually, I didn't realize that you might think that. So cool. This we're just going to do the same thing. Public and return the employee the updated employee. And we're going to need 2 items in here. So what 2 items are we going to do we need in order to make this change?
A path variable.
Yep, the obvious one that we just created, the path variable. So path variable. Ready. What's the second one we need?
That be authorization?
We don't have authorization in this app, so
Okay.
yes, but not in this situation. So I got the idea of who I want to update. What else do I want to need though?
Oh,
Matt realizes it, I think.
yeah,
Hold off though. Let's see if someone else realizes it.
sure.
You need the object itself.
What do you mean by that?
You need the actual employee, like well, you need to get the employee somehow.
Yeah, with this, I can get the employee with that. So
Yeah,
I can do that. I can do employee emp will do equals what is it? Employees dot get ID. So I got the employee, but now what do I want to do with it?
well, now Well, now you have to figure out what you want to change or what you want to update.
Yeah, how do I get that? So how would I send the new data in this? And again, think like a computer scientist, knowing what we've seen above, how would I send new data to the system? What would I use?
I think I know what it is.
Have you hold then. Think of the other routes we've done. How do we send data before? So we know there's 3 ways we can send data. We have the one we're using, we're already using one, this guy.
Emilio. They put in chat.
Oh,
I
Thank
think
you,
he's right with
Kevin.
that.
yes, Emilio got it. Request body, right? Right here. This is another way we send data, right?
Mhm.
Just for sanity's check, this is one way. This is the other way. What's the third way again?
A request parameter.
Which is where? Where is that located? It is
So
right. Yeah,
that
you're
would
right.
be as part of the URL, but it's
Yeah,
also
that question
optional.
mark thing, the query param, right?
Right.
Yep, exactly. Good. So we got those 3 ways we send data across requests. The dynamic routes, query params, and the body of the request. I'm just going to do comma at request body employee. I'm just going to call it update or update data, you can call it. So now the next thing to keep in mind here. If then actually Sergio might actually know the answer to this. So if I send data to this and I don't include certain keys or certain keys in my information here, like let's say in here, go back to the request here. We have a lane here. Let's say I just want to update her role, and so I just send this data only. What is the object that it's gonna have? What is the employee that's gonna have there? What is that class, that object gonna look like?
Yep, I experienced that firsthand.
So what is it then? What's the answer?
It's gonna turn a null.
Right. What's going to be null though?
Hmm.
In this class.
So the
Everything except for
everything except everything except what you put in there. I
Yeah.
forget which is the role. Yeah.
Yeah. So the ID, the name, and the age is all going to be null, and just role is going to be filled.
Oh, everything lost link. Oh,
What was that, Sergio?
oh, sorry. Everything got. I think he's trying to get.
I just
Yeah.
need the link for the attendance
We'll
form.
get that to you in a
I
bit.
lost
Yeah.
it.
Once we give you guys your practice assignment, I'll go ahead and throw that in. I want to keep this going because I'm trying to keep this within an hour. So
Right.
cool. So we got that. So we have a class. Where did I go? There we go. So we have a class that has, it technically has all the keys or all the properties. Only one of them has data. Now here's a question, and here's a mini challenge for you. I'm actually curious to see what you guys did for yours. So some of you might have had this working, it sounds like. Me and Matt did. I think you said you didn't have the deletes. Me knew how to do this. Maybe you got this.
No, I just went on to delete.
Ah. Please. Or keys or fields. Nobody know.
Hmm.
Can we
Can
do
we
that?
read through the keys or keys or
Seems to be
something?
nodding.
Yes.
I feel like we can. I feel like we can because
Because you're asking a question.
It's good. It's a good guess that maybe because I am asking that it's possible.
I know that you can do it in JavaScript. I'm not sure
Mhm.
about how to do it in Java, but I'd
Right.
imagine you could be able to.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Like when I first did this, I asked myself the same things. Like, can I do this in Java? Well, I know I can do it in JavaScript, so can I do it in Java? And that's when I would have to go do what? How would I find out?
Google it.
Right. And so here you go, class. Go find out. Can we do it? And what? How do we do it? Google search quick. See what you guys can find. See if you guys can find this out.
You can use .get fields.
We have that. Let's see if that's a method that exists. Use update data dot get fields. I don't see that one.
It looks like there's a field class, if I'm reading this right.
Yeah, I think you'd have to do it from the class itself.
Yeah,
mean,
I'm looking at
Or
that.
from the employee class.
field. So fields.
Hmm.
Maybe not.
Oh, is it because ours are private that we can't get them from another class?
Get declared fields.
Look at this one right here.
Oh, oh,
There's get class.
I also was the one I was
get
looking at. I was
declared
trying to make
fields.
sense of it.
Ah,
Mhm. Get declared fields. Now, yes, there is a object called a field. So let's see what this looks like. So we're gonna do S out. Oop, I didn't save
Question,
that.
the big
Sorry.
question is that right now is that you get the ID. How do you know what field you're updating right at this point right now?
So we're gonna find out. Let's see what this looks like. Is that a problem?
To string.
Oh, right, arrays dot toString, right? So otherwise we're just gonna get the reference to the fields array. Right, there we go. Let's do that.
Still looks like an
Squiggly.
error. It's still got a little squiggly mark over there. It has
Oh,
to
right.
return
Oh, 'cause I
something.
haven't returned anything yet. Oop,
Yeah.
hold on. Eh.
A private employee.
I'm just gonna return that employee that we pulled.
Yeah, but you got like, it says private employee with semicolon. I don't know what that error is.
9:15. What did I do? What the hell did I do there? Oh, I think that was an automated system from something I typed with one of your ideas. It was the dot field thing. It built that out of nowhere. Anyway. Blink.
let's try this.
Boots. Let's see what we get. So, of course, Elaine no longer exists, and we had to do line 2 just to see what we get. So we're going to be updating Keith for a second. We got Keith back. Come back over here. Back to, wait, does system out not work here? That.
I don't think you did the put yet.
Oh, I didn't. Click.
There we go.
We got fields. We have this thing, private,
Awesome.
intro employee ID,
ID,
name, role,
role, and age.
age. So just those fields that we created. We have none of the object fields that are like built into objects. We have just the declared fields of that class employee. So that's what these are.
Ah, yeah.
And it's like the entire like path too.
Mhm. Trust me, you're gonna realize why we're gonna be switching to repositories and make this way easier.
Repositories.
Yup.
With a SQL Server, it's way easier.
Oh, yeah. So we have that. We have fields. Let's see.
Hey, Cliff, I have a question.
Yep.
Is with the request bodies, the only way to give that information with an app like Postman, or is Postman kind of a way to test it? For another way to get the information?
Postman is a testing system, and it depends on what you want to use. So front ends are going to use different things, like JavaScript, for example. You can just use jQuery's get what was it Ajax call for a package. I'd like to use Axios, and Axios with JavaScript does HTTP requests and pulls data. Browsers only do gets. Always be aware of that. The browser with the everyday user can only do get requests from the browser. Anything else has to be done programmatically through some sort of interaction. So if you want to use it to do a post request, you're usually doing like a form or something, and in the background, it then builds the post request and sends it out.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
I mean, you could certainly do a curl and do the posting too, but that's a pain in the butt, but you could.
Gotcha.
Yeah, right, you can, right? You could do a curl post, right?
Yeah.
But it's a pain in
I
the
was
butt.
thinking of it from the user's perspective, like a user's not gonna do a curl request, they're gonna fill out a
No,
form.
no, you use like a React front end or something to be able to put in on the form on the data in the form, and then use Axios to send it to the back end to be able to do the post to the back end. So, and then that will go into the database. So that's how usually it would work.
Okay.
Someone would say, by the way, there's this. I did see that this might be one too. Yeah, that's not a method that exists. Interesting. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, this one too. So there's two of them. There's get declared fields and get fields. Interesting. Curious to see if there's any difference between the two, but there's just two different ways of getting it. So you can do that way or this way. So there's two ways of getting it, which is interesting. The question is, can we use this field list then pull out each one? So let's do a or field and fields. How do we get the data? Because the data is different on each one, isn't it?
Well, I would. You need to input to know what you're going to be changing, and then you need to
Yeah.
match it and see if you can get the
Well,
field
there's
that
other-
matches
yeah, there's
matches
other
what
ways
you
to.
typed in to change.
There's also this too. Think about this. Class type equals dot get type. Oop. So that gets the type or the class of the field that we're looking at. So for the example, the first field here is ID. We know that is a long. So the first one we go through here will be a long. So type will be long. That way we have the data type now. And then, since we know all of our fields or the object classes, we go back to employee. We know every single one of our fields is a object, long, string, string, and integer, not a small l long and not int, right? These are both objects.
Yeah.
So you can also do object value bit object val equals field dot get, and then we give it the update data, and this will give us the value of that item as just a undefined type. Why is that yelling at me? Get, right?
Objects. Oh, well, yeah.
Get type.
That should be data. I'm happy with that. Oh, because I can be bad. It can be bad.
Oh,
Could be bad data.
Yep. There might not be anything there. It might be like not an object or something. Maybe it could be a primitive. And I also might not have access to the data, illegal access exception. I might not be allowed to get the data from this object because that field might not exist. Again, that's why I'm actually don't like this process, and then like I'm debating whether I want to keep going forward with it. But it's interesting to at least showcase it because I'm showing it's interesting to take a look. Field.get, again, it's an illegal access because there's no guarantee that this object has this field. Because this field is dynamic. We're doing a lot of dynamicism here. So there's a chance that this is illegal because that field doesn't exist.
That makes sense.
All right. And our first thing, we're just going to check quick if val is equal to null. We want to continue. That is a field we don't want to update, right? Again, val here is the value of the type in here. We don't want to use that if it's null. Otherwise, if it's not null, we have data. We want to replace that data with in this ID, in this guy here. So we're going to use, EMP. Oh, how do I do that? Which one is it? I don't want to do a switch.
Huh? Wait,
Oh, right, never mind. That's what we're doing right now. Oh, I forgot how to do this. I have to write this down. I wanted to do it this way instead of the other way of doing it.
well, you've got the field, right?
Yeah,
So can't you, with the field, can't you do, well, I don't know, somehow you gotta be able to set the field then at this point. 'cause
Yeah.
that are in it. But you gotta figure out how to
there.
know which field to
way.
set.
I don't like it though. I don't want to do it this way. I would have to create a new method in the object. And I don't want to do it. And honestly, like what I'm going through my head right now is that this is unnecessary for you guys to learn because of the repository system. Going through this whole process is nothing you're going to need to deal with.
Well, I kind of agree with that because if,
Yeah.
you just need like this post mapping and the get mapping and doing to a list to ensure that everything, that you have something working without using the repository whatsoever. And then you could and then you can build from there. It's pretty interesting though, because I'd never seen it do this way too. This is something I'd never seen before.
Yeah. I don't know the way I want to do it. The iteration thing is the problem, because the problem is I can make this a lot easier by just doing this technically. Ignore ID if data dot get name equal to null. Yeah. Dot set name to update data dot get name. Update data dot get role equal to null MP set role to update data dot get role. And finally, update data dot get age Dot set age to update data dot get age. Because of how few fields we have, this is actually going to save us a lot of effort on our behalf in trying to understand and get all this dynamicism out of the way. The main thing I would have to do is that I'm thinking in my head of how I would again have to do this. Why I'm upset about it is I would have to most likely create a public field object now object. Now to do all that, I would need both the type, the field, and the value that I want to update for this object. And that's the method I would have to create. And then I have to make sure I figure the code right, which again, I did this last week. I did something like this last week and I didn't remember it and didn't save it. So, because again, I originally didn't want to do this. As you guys remember, I was going to do the repository last week and then chose against it last minute on Thursday. And then I had the hackathon, so I didn't get to recreate this really or practice it before today, unfortunately. So this thing I don't want to create. So for the moment, because again, this doesn't really benefit us in the long run to really dig so deep into this. I'm actually not going to worry about this. If anyone does want to dig into using that and come up with it, feel free to using that other more dynamic method. That's a little bit more than I want to do today. So because I want to get past this, so we can move on to the repositories. So that's, in other words, I'm trying to avoid a rabbit hole. For all intents and purposes, that's what I'm trying to say right now. I don't want to go into that rabbit hole. I'm starting to see that the rabbit hole and I don't want to go down it. This will do this is going to do our job to see what's going on under the hood enough that we can move forward. Sound
Come
good?
on, Cliff, we all float down here.
No, I want to get through this stuff so you guys can get jobs. No rabbit holes.
We want to see Cliff think about this one. Come on, let's go.
No, again,
Do
move
it.
on.
Do it.
That's pretty simple though. I like that.
Yeah.
Simple.
Do
It
it,
works,
do
that's the
smart.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, this is what's happening under the hood. We're just trying to turn this into instead of multiple ifs into one loop that does the same if. That's what this is a thing where, yes, you want to look at this, be like, ooh, this is not the most efficient. This is most likely a refactor. But MVP wise, this gets the point across. We can move on to something more important. Let's make sure it works.
Roger that.
So you build it. Main thing is it can be done. That's the key item out of that. Forgot that Java though doesn't make it different. It doesn't make it easy because of typing. Let's make sure it works. So let's see, Keith is a comedian. We're going to go ahead and turn him into a stand-up comedian now. Let's go ahead and convert. First off, we'll make sure that this still is valid. So we'll do the localhost employees, make sure that the two are there. Since we did reboot the system, Elaine was unfortunately dropped. Let's go ahead and send it in. It says it updated it. So let's go ahead and take a look. We'll re-get. We see that Keith's data was only updated his role. Everything else stayed the same. There's our update system. We'll go ahead and double check it though by just doing two changes now. Let's go ahead and do role again. Back to comedian. I'm going to add age, and we'll say that Keith had a birthday. So we'll do Jim next. Actually, go back to Jim instead. Keith got Jim aged up, and Jim, you are now. What's his new role? Go ahead, Elaine, since he decided to put you into our program. What's Jim's new role?
Oh, Jim is a French fryer.
Wow. French fryer. There we go.
There we
Send that
go.
in, and both records updated. And we double check in the list overall. There we go.
Mine's
Don't-
not working right.
All right, let's take a look.
Sure. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Share screen. So this is my object over here, but when I send the put over, it gets rid of age and doesn't update the role properly. So
Show me the
Right.
post you're sending it again.
Set age under get roll on line 56.
it is. Oh, that would do it, wouldn't it? Thank you. That's an easy.
Yep.
I was trying to
Set age,
spot
set age,
check
set
it,
age, set
but
age. Yep, got 4 set ages. Good catch. Good catch. Again, that's one of those ones that like it all looks fine because it's all valid code. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong there. Just, yeah, you need another pair of eyes to see that you typed something the same thing.
oh,
Cool.
Yep.
Anybody else?
Mine doesn't work, but I think I missed something.
Yeah, same here.
Go ahead and share. We can take a look at these. We just got to delete next, and that'll be the last thing we do today. 'Cause, yeah, your homework for tonight actually is going to be a little simpler. Then the other stuff is going to be to get a SQL, getting MySQL loaded on your system. So actually, you're not going to use H2 at all.
oh, mine works now.
Hold on. Yeah.
So if anybody needs help with that, I can help with installing it if you need help.
Yeah.
I could do
I will need
IBM.
somebody with Windows to volunteer to do that. Yes, 'cause
I'll do
I can always
Windows.
showcase my
Oh, yeah,
Mac
you need curly
installation. But
braces around that get request.
I'll do Windows. I can help anybody with that.
Mike knows what. Mike explained the problem. There's nothing wrong with your code. It's a wrong problem with your request. Go ahead and say that again, Mike.
You just need to add curly braces around that get request.
Just remember, Elaine,
says roll
JSON,
Are you
JSON
talking
starts.
Where does that go?
In the first box where it says roll comedian.
Curly braces around.
The whole thing. Remember,
whole
JSON
thing?
starts with a curly
this
bracket,
thing?
ends with a curly bracket.
Oh, yeah, no, I totally missed that.
Yep.
Like that? And
That's
you
it.
think now it's gonna go? I
Yup.
have to post, right?
Put.
Oh.
Yep.
Let's see.
Put the update. Post creates. And you also need to give it a number. Who are you updating?
There's
So
only one.
associate slash a number.
It's probably, yeah. Does it start with 0 or 1?
1.
There
Oh.
it goes.
We're good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Very
good.
good. Good stuff. Travis, what you got? I heard you say it didn't work.
Yeah, I figured it out.
Okay, cool.
No,
Good.
yeah,
You
I got
sure?
it. Yep.
All right. You say so. All right, let's do one last one. We'll do the destroy. So this is removing something from a list. So public. Oops, we first need to do the, what is the verb again?
Delete.
So we try it out. We do delete. There it is. Delete mapping. We use the exact same route again. Colon ID, bracket ID. So we're going to say we want to delete the employee with that ID number. And again, polymorphism kind of concept. As long as the verb is different, put, get, and delete 3 different routes, 3 different verbs, 3 different routes. Public. We're not going to return an employee. In this case, we're going to just return a string saying valid. String. Later on, we'll do is we'll actually end up just sending back the 200 request, just saying, okay, we actually won't send back anything. So most likely it'll also just be public void. No, actually, let's do that because we just want to do is send back the okay. We don't want to send back anything else. As long as we send back the okay, we can confirm it was deleted. I don't think there's a sanity check for myself, actually. Is there an HTTP request for deleted?
Um,
No, it's going to say no.
I'm looking it up now.
Be a 200.
It would be 200 because that would be a successful.
Okay, created,
successful-
accepted. No, so you could argue that you could always do 202 if you wanted, but not quite because that says received but not yet acted upon, which is not true. So, yep, you could send, oh, a 204 you could send back. That's one. So a 200 or 204, those are the ones you would send back. Either, okay, we did it, we got it, it's good. If you also send a 204 back saying, yes, I did it, and there's no content for you, I have nothing to give you. Just know that I did it, because 200 means confirmed, it's a success. 200 means success. But the 4 on the end says, I'm not giving you anything to confirm it. Just know that I did it. So you could send back a 204, and again, we'll confirm that, how to do those on, I believe, Thursday, or even tomorrow, once we get into using an actual database. So
Can we do a nice fancy HTML page that says 404, not found?
this one we're gonna just do the void. We're gonna send back to 200.
Before we move on real quick, I am a little bit stuck. I was falling a little behind, so I was trying to.
I'm just gonna finish that
Sure.
text right there. There we go.
Sure,
That's what you
absolutely.
got?
So can I share real quick?
Oh, of course. Yeah, go for it.
Main screen. I'm trying to update Matt from right now he's a TA. I'm trying to make him a developer.
Oh, 487. Okay.
So I got a 405 not allowed,
Yeah,
so
that
I
means
look him
that
up by
doesn't
ID.
exist.
right? He
So,
said,
yeah,
It's the same thing I had.
but
You don't have the curly brackets around.
No,
it.
he's
he
got
doesn't.
them.
He
They're
does.
just
He does
set up a
have
little
them.
differently. Yeah,
Oh, I see it. Sorry.
developer,
it's all right.
localhost employees. Number
or
3.
maybe something
Check your
here.
code.
Is there an actual employee?
Why is
for-
this
Did
yelling
you?
at-
Ooh, hold on. Did you reboot your project? Your project yet?
Pretty sure I did, but let me try again.
Okay. Oh,
Well,
Hold on.
you won't have an ID. Well, how many people did you put in?
wait. Oh, I already see the problem.
Uh-oh.
Somebody else will find it. Look at his code. There is a problem with his code.
I'm trying to look at my code and see if
I
I
see
see
the
it.
code. I see a problem.
It's in here somewhere.
Should I not?
Oh,
Should I get rid of this?
Nope. No, we don't need it anymore. So it's you don't need it, but it's not causing the problem.
I'll get rid of it just so I don't get confused. But
Yep.
for now,
yeah, I see
else
it.
see
I
it?
think. Yeah,
Matt
I think
sees he
so.
Sees it. Anybody else?
I think I see it.
So where is it? So you're trying to you have what's the route for this? For this item, what is the route? Take a look at your Postman for a second. What's the route that we're trying to access? It is
Hey.
put and what? A slash what?
well,
That would be slash ID, right? Would that be the route we're looking at?
oh, okay.
No. Get rid of it. You're right there. That's how we type it in. But if we had to think of the mapping for that, what we would call that route, right? We would call that route the put slash ID route, right?
I don't follow.
What's number 3? What's the 3 after
Stand
that
for?
slash? What's that represent?
What's its purpose?
That's the ID.
Right.
Right.
And if you go back to your code for a quick second and go back to that get request that we have, the get one by ID. Or
Right here?
that one right there, yeah. Right, yeah. See how there's the route, the slash ID in there, right?
Yes.
Take a look at your put mapping for a second. Is there anything missing?
Oh, well,
No, look at the put mapping.
Like your code.
In your code, Sergio.
Your code.
Put mapping.
yeah,
Put
I'm looking at the code right here. Put mapping, yes.
Yeah, is there anything missing there?
Oh, it's missing. So I need to look up by ID the same way.
Mhm.
Yes.
There it is.
Precisely.
There you go.
Oh my lord. Okay, so now this should I need to
Yeah,
stop.
you had
moving.
a put root route method, which you
Under
just wanted to use a put
polymorphism.
slash. Yep,
Well, you got the path variable in there, but didn't have a place that you didn't know what
Yeah.
path to go to.
the route wasn't there and the path, where that ID in the path wasn't being
Would you
identified.
say no endpoint?
Oh, try
Yeah.
it again, Sergio. Your
I think it wasn't
your
Still loading, it was still loading, yeah.
Spring Boot was still warming up.
Yep.
Okay, I overestimated the speed
You're
of the.
speedy.
Yes,
Too
you
quick.
did. Look, your gaming computer's fast. It's not that fast.
Well, I mean, is it not done yet?
Go look at it.
One
Don't
internal line.
assume.
Oh, it
It
had
had
it.
a crash.
An error.
Scroll up a bit.
What, right here, internal line.
No, you keep going all the way up.
All the way to the top. This is your stack trace.
There it is.
So
I think.
Oh, you got the
Oh,
total exception error. You go.
huh.
Cannot
Should I-
invoke.
should
Oh,
I-
scroll down? Stop scrolling up too much. We're trying to read that.
Well, we should go up a little bit further because there's still an error even above that.
I mean, I don't know what we're looking at. To be honest
Oh
with
wait, do you have 3 people in your employee list to begin with? 'Cause if not, I think that might be it.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
correct,
Are
too.
you pre-filling the employee list?
you.
Scroll up to the constructor.
Right here.
No, right there.
You only got
Oh,
one.
just the one.
Mhm.
It's because you were trying to.
You're trying to update ID 3 and you only
employee
have
number
ID of
3.
1.
Yeah.
Oh,
One.
Read what it says. So read that error message right there. Read what that error message says. So this is why, Jim, I wanted you to stop for a second. Always read the message. And yes, if this one doesn't make sense, go up and read the next one. But what does that say exactly? Read it.
right here.
Not from there. After the colon. So cannot what?
Cannot invoke.
That method, right? So you go to the end and say that it's the set roll string method because
EMP
what?
is no. EMP is null.
So EMP, what's the EMP in that code? Look at the method and what's EMP? Which scroll down now. Go back to the method. So what is EMP?
Oh,
Telling you that this is returning null, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so why would that return null? Again, this is where that logic deductive reasoning comes into play. What is a reasoning why this would probably return null?
Because it doesn't exist yet.
Right. So to think, well, if it doesn't exist, well, that means the ID would probably have to be wrong. And that's why we asked you to go check. You were trying to use ID 3. You only have one item in there. There is no employee with an element of with an ID of 3 yet. And that's why it's returning null. It's like, hey, but we didn't do anything. We didn't put any error checking in here yet.
I see, because I'm rerunning the program. I'm thinking like I
Yep, it
have all
reboots it
the.
and kills
I'm
all your
thinking in
employees.
terms of I'm thinking in terms of
Yeah.
Postman.
Yep.
I'm
So
thinking I
just
have all
change
these
that
people.
3 to 1 for us. Send that in.
Okay, so this
Oh,
is
that's
the,
not you're on the get right now. Hold on. I just realized.
well, should I get it first to see what I get? What I
Sure.
get?
So you
Which
see
is-
Sergio's there. So now go back to your put request
Okay.
and also do 1. Hit
And then it's
send.
gonna update me. I'm
It's gonna
assuming.
update you, yeah, because Matt doesn't exist because you didn't post him.
Yeah.
There
Okay,
you are.
I'm a developer now. Okay, gotcha.
Yep. So this is why it's key to make sure you read those error messages and check it. Now, yes, the last one doesn't make sense. Scroll up to the next one. I can guarantee you we're gonna have all 3 of those are error messages saying that that emp is null. All 3 of them are the same error message. You're gonna have 3 error
Gotcha.
messages all saying the exact same thing, that this
Now-
is null.
If I had added 2 more people here while the program is running, then there will be a
Yes.
3. Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, that's a
Pretty
problem.
much, we just needed a validator here saying that if the result of get employee is null, we need to return a 404.
Oh, that was-
And I'll show that in a second. Hold on, share screen. The reason why that wasn't working is in here, we should have some sort of logic here just to make sure, because we know that we could accidentally get the wrong ID number. We could get an ID number of someone who doesn't exist. So we should definitely do if EMP equals null, turn for now F, because we don't have we can't do the 404 stuff yet because there's something missing in this item to be able to allow us to send back a 404. Again, we'll learn about that later. We're going to return that null item back. So we're going to return null to them so that they can see there's no one there.
Okay, let me add that real quick as well.
That's a error checker there. So it's kind of our 404 concept.
Well, I'm kind of
Alright.
glad I messed up there because we learned a lot there.
I'm game. All right.
Sweet.
Cool. All right, next one. So delete employee. We again just sanity check here. What do we need inside this parenthesis? In order to delete an employee by ID.
Probably an ID.
All right, I got that here. What do I need in the parenthesis?
Half variable.
That half variable. Thank you, Iridian. Yep, the half variable. Remember, we want to know those annotations. When it was 100% right, we need the ID, but I want that annotation too. Yeah. ID. And this one, let's take a look at what we got in our list. What do we have? Look at that. We have remove, right? And what does it allow us to give it?
Object key.
We can give it the key of what we want to remove. And the key, of course, if you remember correctly, what is the key in our list?
First one.
Long.
Yep, the long is the key, or key value. And so we can just give it that ID that we just got. So remove ID. Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all.
This seems too easy to be true, doesn't it, Matt?
I
Overcomplicated it.
very much so. I gave it its own route to get there, and then I was trying to get to that route through the URL instead of through Postman. So I was doing a whole bunch of unnecessary garbage that's really irritating now that I'm seeing this.
It happens, and I always hate when whenever I hear someone has trouble with something, especially when I know the result is gonna be like 1 or 2 lines, I feel bad. And I have to go through my head and be like, is there a way that I can complicate this? No, not really.
I was
But-
looking up all kinds of stuff on Stack Overflow that was giving me all complicated things that just was really upsetting.
Yep, I understand it. I knew you were not gonna like what I wrote. I knew it right from the start. Let's see if it works though.
It does. I almost wish it didn't, but it does.
It's all good. That's why you're in class.
Yeah. Oh, what a week.
It's all good. You're fine. We'll go ahead and remove Jim from our system. So you got delete 1. Can send that in. We get the 200 back. Like we said, we weren't expecting anything anyway. To confirm it worked, we're going to go ahead and get all employees. And Keith is alone.
The cheese stands alone.
The lone survivor. And there is our crud.
I just got destroyed.
Yeah, Jim got destroyed. And there is crud. With that, you can actually do a lot of stuff with your systems. And now, of course, again, we're not persistent. This is not staying persistent. This is temporary. So what I want you guys to do today, go ahead and add these 2 routes to your current system with the car. But then also, if you haven't done the extra challenge of doing the customer yet, your homework, your assignment for the next 30 minutes is to add the employee entity and the routes for employee. So 30, 45 minutes, we're gonna do that. After that,
Can you elaborate on that? What does that mean?
what do you mean?
When you say add the employee?
Yep, add an
You
employee
mean
entity.
customer, right, Cliff?
Customer, thank you. So the car rental app that I had
In
to
the
start
car.
building over the weekend.
Oh, in
Yeah.
the car rental, okay.
Yeah. Yep, sorry. So yeah, we have our car entity, and now we're gonna add our customer entity. Thank you. I totally said employee because I'm looking at employee on my screen. And also make sure you're packaging. If you didn't package your car and customer, package them now. Make sure they're packaged. You should have the car package.
I was gonna ask that. I was gonna ask if packaging was gonna create an issue because all right. So we can
Nope, you
package
want
these
them,
and it's
please.
still gonna be able to find them based
Of course,
on
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
100%.
Cool.
Usually in the packaging, like on a Springboot, you would have one that's called entities, controller, and
Well, there's 2 ways you can, there's 2 ways you can organize your systems. Yeah, you have your MVC kind of organization where you have your models in the model package and each entity's in there. You have your controller package and all your controllers are in there. And then you have your repository package where all your repositories are.
yeah.
But this is the other function, the other organizational thing is by entity. And so you have this item where all your employee entity, your employee controller, and your employee repository are all in the same spot. So we can definitely look in. We'll definitely do when we bring in the SQL stuff. We create a new project because we're going to need that package. So this one has the H2 package right now. When we're going to create a new project, I'm going to do this one more time, bringing in the new package with SQL. You're going to see this all again. We'll try the other route. We're going to do the model controller. We don't have view, so model controller repository packaging. So you'll see the 2 different ways we can package. All right. We'll see that. So yeah, what we're gonna do is for the next like 30 minutes, add in for your car item, your put and delete mappings. And then I want you to all create the customer mapping, just to do a one shot, all four routes right from the get-go, or 5 technically. So all 5
Wait.
routes in one shot.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Get
God.
one,
All
get
right.
all, update, add one, update one, delete one, 5 routes.
Okay.
All right. The same 5 you see here. So you can use your car package or your car controller as the guide, as a reference. Again, try to see how much you can do without looking at the car repository, the car controller. But of course, you have it as a reference, so you can double check, make sure you're doing it all right. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So 30 minutes, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a little poll to say how difficult was this exercise. Anyone who has difficulty, we'll be able to kind of review and help you guys make sure you got your stuff working. So if it doesn't work at the end of this, we have 30 minutes to review and get up and get help to make sure we get everyone's working before the end of class. Depending on how that works, we'll either today, I'll at least show you guys on Mac how to download or how to get MySQL, but most likely that'll be your homework. The homework for tonight will be get SQL installed. Sound good? All right, 30-minute break. Head into your breakout rooms, get that working. We'll merge back in 30 minutes.
I just have to get the end of these two, the bottom last 2 postings that you did.
Yeah, go and work on it. And like I said,
No, I have to copy it down because I didn't type it while you were doing it. I just need to
Ah.
look at both of them. These 2, the bottom ones, the delete and the update.
Yep. Also for Keith, since you weren't here, or anybody else who wasn't here on Thursday, here's your repo if you want to go grab it from me. So github.com/crc4 ch12 springboot.git. So if you go there, you can actually take a look at this code and review it all. So you can even see the original couple routes we had too. That'll help. All right. All right. With that being said, yeah, head over to the rooms. I'll set a 30-minute timer and I'll put you all back again. And like I say, if you need any help, post in Slack to get either Freddie or Matt to come help you guys out. Or John. Don't forget John. John's here. I see him.
Or Cliff. Cliff's here.
True. You can also ask me too, but I always say start with the TAs first. You don't go to the boss of the company first. You go to the managers first.
Straight to the boss. Straight to a manager.
I can ask one more question real quick here. I'm struggling with
course.
something else. I'm gonna share real quick.
I'm stopping.
Yep. So you see, I just wanted to have 2 default employees there, just so I can
You do
Play
have to,
with
so in my code, you do have to do the ID equals ID dot counter dot increment and get again. Because remember, your IDs are 1. Right,
so I need to
just do ID equals ID counter increment and get.
that was what I was messing up.
Yep,
Okay,
That's it.
because it was only adding 1 person. Okay.
exactly. Because the ID, we marked it as ID, so it's unique. And that
Unique
also
equal
just
sign
with the
there.
map as well. In the map, only 1 key can have that number.
There's a dash you put. You didn't put an equal, so I don't know if it's gonna work.
I
Does-
did. Have
It
both.
was an
Have
equal,
both.
just resolution, Jim.
Oh,
You have a
okay.
very small screen and he has a very big screen.
All
So then, if I want to delete myself, and then I just delete -1.
Yep. It says 200, okay, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
There
Okay.
it is.
Sweet.
all good.
So now for the car rental, we need to do what we did with this.
Yep, and again, you want to do, so you
Yeah.
want to add the post, sorry, the put and delete for your car. Add a customer entity in all 5 routes. Yeah. That make sense?
Add a customer entity.
Yep.
But by all 5 routes.
So let's start with the entity. When I say I want a customer entity, what do I mean by that?
So I'm assuming I need to create in my car rental project, I need to create a class
Yeah, well,
customer, and then that's gonna be an
Yeah.
entity
first click on, yeah, as an example though, click on find your car class again.
right here, vehicle
What's that first word at the top above the class?
entity.
Right, so that's what you want to learn, that term of art. Any model or class is called an entity in Spring Boot.
Okay, so this
So you already
also
have a car entity. I want to have a customer entity, and then the 5 routes, the same 5 routes we created, all CRUD. Get one, get
Ah.
all, create one, update one, delete one. 5 routes.
gotcha. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little CRUD here. Okay,
Mhm.
very good.
Not there. That's your entity. The CRUD doesn't go in entity. The CRUD goes in where?
In the customer controller.
Yes, good.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
have to create. I just have to create it and all that.
Good. Have at it. Get into your room. You have 30 minutes. Try to get it done on the time. So you're on a tight time constraint. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy to get it done in 5 minutes and 30 minutes, but it's definitely doable.
Okay,
All right, go for it.
thank you.
You too, Jim. Timer.
Yeah, I know. I don't have the other half of it done, but that's all right. I'll just
Oh, hold
go
on.
with it. No, that's
I did
okay.
push it. I also pushed it to get back right now, so you can also get.
Oh,
it on
you
the-
did? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I literally just pushed it.
Oh, okay, good. I'll just go, I'll grab it from there. Gonna be
Yeah,
quicker.
it's up to date.
easier.
Yep.
Thanks.
David, what you doing?
Oh, I want to go back to 3. Join.
Trying to get to a breakout room. That's what I'm
Okay.
trying to do.
What's your challenge?
Sometimes my computer's a little slow. So
Okay. No, I mean, what's the challenge that I gave you? Make sure you heard it.
to add these routes for the car project. But
Good. And then the other
I just started it right now, and then
Cool.
installing MySQL.
Oh, don't forget the customer entity too.
Okay.
Yep, customer in all 5 routes. Go for it. Oh, and the code is up on GitHub since you missed Thursdays.